got mail. Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computer Studio now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Katie's here.
Morning. Oh, I just flicked my straw.
Morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Spence is traveling to
Happy
family.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Everybody. Our number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by Vimic Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Oh, God, you're coming in kind of...
Me. Who, me?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, he doesn't look weird.
Huh?
I said he looks fine.
It's straightened out now. Maybe.
Why are you
it's a
making fun of
nice-
his looks? I mean, it's Father's Day. It's supposed to be a nice celebrative day, and you're
Yeah.
attacking his physical
Yeah,
appearance.
Yeah.
What kind of show are you running here, Amnon?
I gotta tell you, I have been feeling attacked this entire week by tech.
Uh-oh.
So this is just another, yeah.
Okay, so tell us
Amnon
what's
AI.
So tell us
Okay.
what's been
So
happening.
when was the last time you bought a laptop?
About 4 years ago, I think. 3 or 4 years
and
ago.
what OS was pre-installed on that laptop?
Windows 11.
Home or Pro?
I assume home, but
Probably
I can
home,
check.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is pretty much my experience as well.
Okay.
Buying a laptop, home is pre-installed. You go download the Windows Media Creator, create a USB, boot from it, and you get an option of which edition to install. Right? Simple. I do it for I was asked to reinstall a laptop. Now the guy is in the West Coast, so it's all video calls that I guide them through. I use a machine to create a boot key, USB key for him, boot drive for him, and we go through the process. And it shows, okay, I'm going to install Windows Home. Doesn't even give me a choice. Okay. I go read online what's going on. So the installer, once it detects on the hardware an embedded Windows Home key, that is what it's going to choose automatically. I said, okay, but there's clearly a way to override it, right? I mean, we used to do that before, so what's going on? There are multiple ways. It usually involves writing some sort of file on the USB key and saying install a different option, right? I've never seen one that explains, okay, this is how you get the menu back, but this is how you choose Pro, okay? Tried that, didn't work. Then I read more. Apparently, Microsoft has been at it for about 3 years with this thing, and every edition they change something, and the string is always whack-a-mole. People are playing whack-a-mole with finding that string. So I've been trying this with this machine. I already spent about 4 hours trying to get it to boot into Pro. Eventually, I said, okay, we're not getting anywhere. You need that machine to work. Let's install Home. And I know it's reading my files because when I installed Windows Home, one of the options in the file I did was to allow me to install without a network, right? To create a local account. And
Which, by
that
the
actually-
way, is not as easy as it used to be. There you have to go through an additional process to do that in the most recent version of Windows that is more complicated than it used to be.
So you're right. There's that open the console, run a command, and then it'll reboot. Apparently, it's a lot easier if you put the file there in advance, and it
Exactly.
works.
Yes, it
And
does.
that works. So that's why, like, I was frustrated because I know it's reading all of the settings that I've given it. And
Can I ask you a question before you keep going? Did this individual already have a pro key?
yeah, we added Pro Key, and we tried to. So the Windows was already installed. So I tried going through the activation
do it through the-
process, just giving
yeah.
it another key. Refused.
Now,
Right.
you
That's why
used
we
to
went
be
into
able
installing.
to you used to be able to go to the Windows Store and upgrade to
Right,
Pro.
but they wanted a volume license key here. That's the
Gotcha.
problem.
Okay.
I think
Gotcha.
that's the problem. There is no official way of taking a retail home and changing it to a volume key. Probably not retail, probably OEM, right? Because it's embedded
Sure.
in the machine. Anyway, that route seems to be blocked intentionally. Fine. Like I was about my next step was to run some hacking tools where you can activate Windows without Microsoft, and that also allows you to change the key any way you want it. The tools know how to do that, and Windows will react to that properly. But because it's going to an enterprise environment, I didn't want to go that route, right? So kept on reading. Then I figured out that they changed the strings, so there is a possibility. I'm scheduled to work with him today, but I gotta say, Microsoft is becoming Mac. They're becoming Apple. They're becoming more and more of that company that doesn't care about the freedom of its users anymore. And that annoys the hell out of me. I want to see less and less of Windows the more I experience things like that.
Oh.
To be so simple.
So you still did not upgrade it.
No, that machine is dead in the water.
Right.
The person wasn't available for the past couple of days, so I couldn't help them. We're gonna try again today, probably afternoon. And that's what the
Now-
hell?
I'm okay. I know I have to imagine that you already did this, but I asked I asked our good friend Mr. Chat GPT what the solution to this problem is.
Yeah,
And you're
the
telling me you went
EICFG file.
No, not even that. You went to
What?
you had Windows 10 Home installed, and you can go
Right.
to activation and change the version in there. You tried that,
Yes, that's the
And-
first thing I tried.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
No, I put in the valid license key, and it says I can't change to this license key.
Because
So I
it
wonder
have
if
a
it's got
screenshot.
something to
It's
do
an
with it.
annoying thing.
I wonder if it's got something to do with it being a volume key, or
I mean,
versus the fact
maybe.
that it's an OEM. Yeah, even an OEM install though shouldn't matter because it's still a home.
Didn't-
Windows doesn't know that. Windows doesn't know the difference between Windows 11 Home Retail and Windows 11 Home OEM. The only difference is the actual serial number.
Right,
but
right,
the version is
right.
not different, so that doesn't make sense.
Not only that,
What?
MSDN subscribers, they get access to a generic key. Okay, and so that generic key is supposed to work everywhere. Doesn't matter. It won't activate, but it can work. Right? It'll accept it as a valid key. And online, you see people, you see IT techs, right? Uh, in community chats and forums, say try this key, right? Because they don't care that they've shared it. It's not unique to them. Even that key didn't work. It's like, nope, we're not gonna help you. Really annoying.
Didn't we talk about or read the story about the fact that Microsoft is pushing people away from the volume, the enterprise, what do you call it?
Yeah, but volume license, I
yeah.
don't think
Or was that
I don't
about
think they
Office?
can push it away from it.
No,
They
there
need
was
it.
something. It may have been for Office. I don't
That
remember. But
sounds right for Office. That would make sense.
okay.
Are you talking
'Cause they're-
about perpetual licenses for Office? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're trying to push everybody to
Right, because
365.
they want everybody on Office
Yeah.
365. yeah.
Okay.
And to be fair, right, I think for Microsoft it'll be the right approach because the volume license alley is the source of most pirated versions of Office.
Yeah.
Because there are theoretically it works in a way where the product is designed to query a local license server that then talks with Microsoft. So if that local license server can masquerade as an official one, right, as a valid one, then theoretically you can license any version of Office
Okay,
you
so
want locally.
I'm continuing my conversation with Chat GPT, and it's telling me, and I just explained the problem. I said it's telling me that the Pro key is not valid, and it says
Yeah.
Windows 10 Home will not allow you to upgrade to Pro with a volume license key.
Right, I know that,
So,
but I
well,
don't have
I'm
access to
surprised
it.
I'm surprised that's the case.
That's by design. That's
I guess so.
yeah.
And then it recommends using SLMGR to do that. It recommends that. Then it says use a generic Windows 11 Pro key,
That's what I
but
tried.
not activate it.
Yeah.
If all
That's
else
what I
fails, here you go, Gal. If all else fails, call Microsoft support 1-800-642-7676. That's the
So
which actually, if you have two valid keys and you're not pirating the
yeah, but
version,
they'll
if you have
say
a
it's not possible, right? They'll tell me it's
Yeah.
not possible.
I don't know. It says
Uh,
they sometimes can manually validate or activate a key if it's legitimate. So,
that's great, right? But you first need the OS to be installed.
well, you would have to install you'd probably have to install Home and go through that process again.
Maybe.
Now,
Oh, and the other thing, I said, I'll install Home for you so you can work. I installed Home, and it installed without network drivers.
Perfect.
Yeah. So now I've installed SDIO on the USB key and downloaded all of the network drivers. So the next time I'm in the situation for that guy, if we install Home or Pro or something and network drivers are not there, it'll reload it. I just run something on the USB key and I'll load those. But like, come on, like it can't be more annoying.
So okay, I need to play devil's advocate here. So most people are not reinstalling a copy of Windows. And if you are, so in years past, whenever you would install a copy of Windows, it wasn't even a specific version. You would go to the install screen and it would give you all of the different versions.
Exactly.
That's what it used to. And I would suspect that was a confusing process for people. Now, the kind of the double-edged sword is normal people are not installing Windows raw, so they're not seeing that screen anyway. It's probably a tech-related person.
Right.
So it kind of beats the argument of they're trying to make it easy for the end consumer who might not know the difference between Pro. There used to be 3 different versions. Used to be Pro.
Well, there's actually like 16 different editions, right? Because there's 3 main editions: Home, Pro. There's 4: Home, Pro, Enterprise, and Workspace.
And Workspace, yeah.
Right. There's these 4, but all 4 of them have like 4 other versions. There's N, there's P, there's right,
X64.
Yeah,
X86.
there's those that are allowed to install in Europe. There's those that are allowed to install in Japan. There's those that are. So I understand the confusion, right? But and you can make a way and choose the default and create a screen that says this is what I'm going to install by default. Give me a button, say no, I meant something else.
Yeah.
Right.
So
the only way to edit it is change files on the USB drive. It's like
so do you think this is a piracy issue? and this is why they've done it this way, is because of the
Mm,
rampant amount of Windows piracy.
I don't even I don't even know if it's that. I mean, it might be, but it's there's something in the design here. Somebody thought it was a good idea for some reason. It made sense to them, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
All right, I've got a question. Now I remember with Windows 10 in the early days and Windows 7, the difference between Home and Pro or Ultimate.
Ooh,
It
Ultimate.
was
Yeah. That
mainly
used to be it.
mainly
Yeah.
it was in networking. What is the
Well,
difference today between Windows
I
between
needed a machine that can join a domain. Home
Okay,
Mm.
cannot
that's the
join a
thing.
domain.
Okay, so it's still the
Yeah.
networking thing. It's
I
part
mean,
of
you
the
can
net.
call
Yeah.
it
Okay.
networking. It's
Yeah.
not networking. It's
Well.
more than that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mm.
Up until a few years back, uh, uh, only Pro could have full disk encryption with BitLocker. Uh, Today, Home actually has full disk encryption with BitLocker. The difference between them is on Home you cannot suspend BitLocker, which you can do on Enterprise, which is like temporary switch it off, some sort of. You can only switch it off, which means unencrypt the entire disk, which takes time. Which is something I've hit as well because I wanted to reinstall without losing anything, right? And so it says I can't install here because it's BitLocker. So I was either faced with erase the partition and recreate it, or go back to Windows, switch off BitLocker on Windows Home. That took about 40 minutes, and then I could attempt to install again. And that was a waste of time because it failed and failed and failed again. So I eventually said, okay, maybe it's something at the partition, and I erased the partition, and I was still stuck with it. That's when I discovered that it's about an embedded product key. That's
Interesting.
The only other
stupidest choice that I
the
could
only
think.
other option is going to be going to the store and buying a Pro key directly from the Microsoft, which I know you don't want to do, but that's I mean,
That
there
won't
will there's
work.
why won't that work?
I have a strong feeling that even that will fail.
There's no way
Maybe
if you went to the Microsoft, because you do it directly from the store and you
But
would
I don't
purchase
think
it.
you
I don't
can.
know.
But I don't think you can buy a enterprise
No,
license key.
there's an offer for $100. You can
Yeah.
upgrade to Pro.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's yeah. And
So
I suspect
I
that would
think
work, but that
I think
sucks.
I actually was looking into that, and I went to the store, and it go through there's a huge page, right, about
Mhm.
explaining what are the pros and what are the cons, like why upgrade and all that. And where I was expecting to see the button for upgrade to Pro or buy now, there wasn't any button. So I don't know if it's
Hmm.
something like more than that. But and
Very
I've
interesting.
looked at the specs, right? There's nothing on this machine that will prevent it from running Windows Pro. Nothing. So it's like just make it simple. I think it's time everybody switches to Linux. It's enough. We've been beaten enough.
Well, I had an interesting
Run
situation.
Windows XP. That's my recommendation.
It's interesting you're talking about XP. Never mind XP.
98.
Oh wait, where is this?
Windows ME.
Something about the
ME won't join your domain. Won't join your work group. 98 should.
the head of the Federal Aviation Administration just outlined an ambitious goal to upgrade the U.S. air traffic control system and bring it into the 21st century. According to NPR, most ATC towers and other facilities today feel like they're stuck in the 20th century with controllers using paper strips and floppy disks to transfer data
God.
while their computers run Windows 95.
Oh my god.
That actually makes sense. In all things considered, I would suspect that in an ATC with the air traffic control tower, that there are a whole bunch of ancillary devices, radars, sensors, and things that all connect via serial or whatever that probably are not upgradable to anything modern.
It says that while this likely saved them from the disastrous CrowdStrike outage that had a massive global impact.
Wow, that's a hell of a framing. Is it
yeah.
NPR that wrote this? No surprise.
Well, that's what they're saying.
It's
Yeah.
a hell of a framing from NPR.
So they say it's going to cost a fortune. And
Well, I mean,
yeah, but the reason it's going to
saved them
cost a
from-
fortune is not because the Windows licenses. It's going to be that all of the ancillary equipment that will no longer operate, that they will also, and this is, very proprietary stuff
Yeah.
dealing with
Yeah.
probably, with terminal radar systems and
as long as they're
microburst sensors and a whole bunch of garbage.
if they're not on the internet, which I don't think they would be on these machines,
Probably not.
then it's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm actually I'm agreeing with you because of the point of
It's fine.
whatever.
It's just very hard to maintain.
Correct.
Well, the problem you have is they probably could have upgraded to XP or 7,
Back.
15 years ago. But now that deadline has crossed, now their only opportunity is to not just replace the OS, but likely a lot of additional hardware
Yep.
to get to running. But I'm going to be honest with you. Do you want Windows 11 running in an ATC
No.
tower? They're trying to land your plane and it pops up. Oh, update available. I mean, I don't. You can't turn that stuff off, even with
They'll
policy.
probably
edit
kick
and
out.
PTO.
They'll probably kick it out and install
No.
some Linux-based software.
There'll be a
Oh,
lot
that
of
would be-
there'll be a lot of
There'll be servers that run stuff that you access via some sort of terminal, some browser, and there'll be all of the embedded stuff will be Linux anyway, right? So
you will hear a lot of Flight 16 get into a circling pattern until we reboot here. With 95 you didn't have that problem, and you're not going to have it now.
No, probably
because
not.
there are no updates on it, so you were
Yeah.
kind of safe. Yeah, this is how it was with the Windows 7 machine on the reruns. I never had to worry about it. Now, once a month, twice a month, I see the thing, but it's not.
there is an interesting. So this is something else. An installation I did on this machine actually. I wanted. I don't even remember what I wanted, but I set it up without network at first, right? Because I wanted the local account. And then when I set up the network, I marked it as metered.
Okay.
Yes.
That was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because Windows started up and did not go and fetch all of the crap that it fetches automatically. So, true, I didn't get my video driver updated immediately. That I needed to do manually. But I also didn't get, I don't know, solitaire games and Xbox apps and all of the stuff Windows just pulls online automatically. That did not happen. And apparently, as long as you are on a metered connection, it won't, unless you switch it on in Windows Update and tell it use metered connection, it will not pull updates. So that is a very, very neat little trick that at least for now works.
That's the key. That will be.
Yeah.
I can promise you by the
Yeah.
next version of Windows, metered connections will no longer be.
I don't know.
No
I
longer
mean,
be an option.
if by using Windows, it's going to cost you money because it uses your actual metered connection, right? Then I would think that will be a feature that Microsoft will find it very hard to take back after it was introduced. So I don't
Never
know.
underestimate.
That's true. That's what I mean by
Well-
them becoming more and more like Apple, right?
I mean, because
Like-
now if you actually follow the prompts and the steps, and you try to set up a new Windows computer and you say, I don't have an internet connection,
Right.
it does not say, okay, create an account. It says, okay, turn on a hotspot on your phone
Yeah.
and connect your computer to it to
Mm.
begin setting up your computer.
True.
That's what they've done there.
Yeah, that was the first step where they've become like that. And I
Yeah.
agree.
Which again, you know, sympathy is not the right word to use, but I do continue to have some sympathy for Microsoft because again, a lot of the problems that are created within a lot of the issues that exist within not within Windows, but exist in Windows. I'm not talking about bugs or issues with software, but the fact that, oh, I got a virus and this, that, and the other is because the user base does not upgrade their machines. They do not stay on top of updates. And what is Microsoft to do but to force feed these things down your throat? Because if not, then it's from a PR standpoint, don't buy or don't install or don't use Windows. It's a Swiss cheese. It's a piece of Swiss cheese. It's got holes all over the place, and it's not necessarily accurate, but for the fact that nobody updates.
All they need is a menu that is asking, are you an advanced user? And then some sort of captcha-like test saying, okay, what is this cedar range, right? And something like that. And then you get to advanced advanced settings that you can actually control.
If you have two drives running in a RAID 0 and they are both
exactly,
2
something
terabytes,
like
how many usable terabytes of data do you have?
If you can answer this, then we'll let you maintain your OS the way you like.
Yeah. I do feel there is a level of that I have some sympathy for. And it's been an issue for 20 plus years now of people just refusing to update. And for good reason. I mean, they're not like, oh, I don't want to update. This is not really a problem anymore. But Amnon, you've talked about the stories, and Spence, of the stories of doing a simple Windows update back in the day to find that now nothing on your computer works. No printers, no scanners, your email. I mean, just nothing works. And now you've got to spend a day trying to figure out why the hell none of these devices work. IRQ conflicts that didn't exist before the update. Just a whole bunch of nonsense. So it's a very tough thing for Microsoft to deal with.
Gal, I discovered that my reruns machine already has a way to prevent it from updating by default. I didn't realize that till I saw it. Because it's running 24/7 streaming, it will download the stuff, it will do its things, but it always comes up and say, hey, a reboot is required here to do this. And I can wait a week and it just keeps on popping up on the bottom that you
Right,
need
but
to.
it does have a point where it doesn't wait anymore. It just
I don't know.
reboots.
I have no idea. I mean,
I would
I
suspect.
know it from Mati's machine, which is next to me.
yeah.
Eventually, at one point, it just
Oh.
reboots. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen now. I had an interesting situation this week with the PC. They called from European Performance and they said the shop machine is really slow. I mean, you click on something and it takes maybe 15 minutes before it's actually up. So I went there and sure enough, so I do Control Delete, go to Task Manager. Disk access is at 100. Everything else is low, but disk is at 100.
Okay.
So I try to see what's doing it, and it's different things. It keeps on switching, but the 100 stays there. So I said, I need to take it home. So I brought it home, cleaned it up, scanned it. It found nothing serious. But after cleaning up all the temporary stuff, and I use CCleaner it got a little faster, but still, disk is at 100%. So I took the drive and put it on another machine. And it was about the same thing. I said, okay, so it's the drive. So I pulled an older drive. This was a 7200 RPM drive. So I pulled another drive and was going to clone it. It wouldn't even clone. It starts, it's going, and when it says I'm using the WD Acronis, and while it's calculating how long it's going to take, it just reboots. So I said, okay, so I'm not going to try this like this. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an SSD and see. So I ordered an SSD 500, put it on, it kept on trying, and it will not do it. So I got another computer from here, put their OS drive on it, and put the SSD, and found out that, oh, now I don't have a WD drive in here, so it will not work. So I got a WD drive and just stuck it as the fourth drive, so it will see that there is one. And it started to work, but again, it had some problems. I don't remember exactly what, but in the second try, oh, I know what it was. When I started it, somehow it booted from their old drive, not from the machine's C drive. So I went to the startup and I said, disable everything except the C drive, except SATA 0. And it rebooted and it cloned it. I stuck it in their machine and it's lightning fast. I mean, it's really fast. And the drive is like 2% and 4%, 20%. And this is Windows 10. It only has 8 gig. I tried it for a while and everything is working. I'm going to take it back tomorrow so they can use it. But this was really strange. I would love to right now to actually format that drive and see if there was some software on it that was screwing it up, or is the hard drive bad? Because there was no indication that the drive was going bad. I put a stethoscope on it to hear if it goes chick-dum, 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 chick. Nothing. It's normal. It just
Did you
nails
read
the drive.
smart diagnostic?
Smart showed everything okay.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. There was no indication.
Could have been an early precursor of a drive beginning to fail.
Well, they
I
said
mean,
that
and
it's
this was a you said you put a stat, so this was a spinning drive.
it was a spinning
They said-
7,200 RPM.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
A terabyte of Toshiba drive.
did you put in an SSD or
Yeah.
another spinning drive?
No,
Okay. Yeah.
I put another spinning drive just to see, but I couldn't clone to it. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to waste the time, and I said I'm going to do it to an SSD, and seems to be fine now.
I mean, they're spinning hard drives have always there has always been weird issues with them.
Yeah,
But before they're right, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would. Do you still have the drive?
oh yeah, I mean I want to keep it as a backup in case something
Well,
happens.
I was going to say you should almost keep the drive in service and put it as a secondary drive in a computer. Let it continue to spin, and I would suspect probably within the span of weeks, if not months, you'll probably start seeing if it's truly the drive, you'll probably
They-
start to see smart errors and things like that.
They said that it's been like this for about 4 or 5 months.
Well,
But
that's not.
But they use only one program on it, so once
Yeah.
it came up, everything is working. So
I mean, it could be a bad block. It could just be a bad block on the drive too. That's
I
not going
did.
to show.
I did.
That's
I ran a
That's-
test.
and maybe just not showing up. Who knows?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what was weird that it didn't show up. But hopefully it did it, and it's really, I mean, it's unbelievably fast, and it's an i3 7 series.
It's a 10-year-old computer at least.
It's 7 years. Yeah, that's what they said that they
Yeah.
got it 7 years ago. Yeah, but it's fine now. Well,
It is nice that one of the things that is not, going forward from right now, not having to deal with it, weird issues with spinning drives are essentially gone. I mean, if you're buying any consumer machine today, it does not have a spinning drive. The only people really using spinning drives are, more techie, nerdy people or individuals running
You'll
servers.
be surprised how many new computers have spinning drives, terabyte, 5,400.
Really?
It's like they're trying
From
to
where?
get rid of them.
Well,
There's
that
They're
might be the
cheap.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're cheap.
They're cheap, so they sticking them on, and they cheap selling the computer for cheap. I mean, I've seen quite a few, and I said, "Why is this 5,400?" And I mean, it was ridiculous. 500 SSD, PNY, which is a brand. I mean, it's a brand that $28.
Yeah, it's stupid how
It's
cheap they
stupid
are.
not to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Don't call me stupid.
No, I'm.
Yeah, that Gal's
UPNY?
entire infrastructure runs on 5,400 RPM SAS
No,
drives.
actually, I don't think I have a 5400. I think they're all 7200.
I think
but,
my
yeah.
drives might be 5,400. I gotta
Nick?
look. I don't know. In my server though, not
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, you
Hey, Amnon.
using power bank?
Power. Oh,
Yeah. Which one?
mine is the recalled one. I got the
Oh,
notification from
geez.
Amazon that so this was interesting. So Anker had a
Yep.
set of power banks that were recalled this week.
Yep.
And so I saw it on my news feed and didn't think anything of it. And then Amazon emailed me and sent me a notification in the Amazon app letting me know that my product had been recalled. Fortunately, this device is broken. So I'm going to get a brand new. So this is the
Nice.
So
Yep.
this is the option. I went through. I haven't done it yet.
Well, hold on. This is interesting. You're gonna need to ship it back, right?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
no, they don't
Because
want it
it's
in the
batteries,
postal
That's
service.
the thing.
Yeah, they don't want it in the postal service, so you will not ship it back. But I do have to verify the serial number, which I've got.
Yeah.
I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, see, this is why I hold on to a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, because eventually one day it pays off in my benefit. So
Yeah.
when you walk into my office and it looks like a tornado has struck, whereas it does 24/7, there's and I found it right away. I knew exactly where it was sitting. I haven't used this thing in at least 3 or 4 years, but it's just been sitting on my desk because I'm insane. So not only did I get a let me see if I can pull up the email just to read it. This is the first time I've ever had I got an email Thursday. It says, attention, important safety notice about your past Amazon order. And it goes through and it sends a link to the federal the consumer protection website. And then from there, the consumer protection website, it sends you over to Anker's site. So here's the option. I can do two things. I can get a new 10,000 milliamp power bank, a new, I believe it's a refurb, but it's a new model that Anker is selling out. Or I can get a $30 Anker gift card that doesn't expire. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the gift card because I don't need, I have other power banks that work that I'm happy with. So I don't know that I need like a fifth power bank. So yeah, it's the Anker Power Core 10,000 portable charger.
Yep.
Is the unit that is failed.
Yeah, I'm glad. That's what I was going to say. We need, for the benefit of the listeners, it's a Power Core 10,000 portable charger.
And can I show this without doxing myself?
It's fine. Don't worry about it, Nick. It's fine. Don't try.
Well, so
something.
I just actually, this is the first time I've been on my Amazon account in a couple of days, and I just logged in and I clicked on orders, and there's a huge yellow box that says an item that you bought recently has been recalled. So they are doing their damn. I bought this July 30th, 2020. So it's about 5 years old, almost 5 years old. And it goes through the, looks like another product I purchased had been recalled. Huh.
Yeah, we had something. We bought a Ninja Foodie.
Yeah.
It was an air fryer and a pressure cooker, and they sent a recall, and we gave it to Hannah over a year ago because she needed it. And I told her, she said, "Oh, I'm not using the pressure cooker anyway. But yeah, I'll change. I'll send it and get a new one."
So, so according to the consumer protection thing, Anker sold about 1.15 million of these.
Yep.
So this is a significant
Very cool.
significant payday for them. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should get the gift card or do the
Absolutely gift card. Well,
The
I mean,
gift
why do
card
you
is
need
an
another one?
Amazon gift card.
No, that's the problem. It's an Anker gift card.
I
That's
bet you're
the
buying
issue.
a lot of Anker stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not. I looked at their website. They don't really make. I mean, they make a lot of cool stuff, but it's a lot. It's not
Nick,
cheap
the
stuff.
problem is if you get a replacement,
Yeah.
it's probably going to sit there for
So that's kinda-
months because you have other ones that you're using, unless you're going to
Yeah.
be religious about rotating them. Then
Well,
it's okay.
I won't be religious.
I know
about
that's
anything with them.
Yeah.
So they sell cables, but the cables are expensive. Like they have like a like USB-C to lightning cable, but it's like $17 for a 3-foot cable. And I'm like, that's the terrible deal. Like I don't why would I spend $17 on a cable?
You're going to find other stuff that you can buy.
I won't though. They make, well, again, they make cool stuff, but like a lot of their cool stuff is like $150. So I'm not going to
Oh,
use the $30 gift card to spend $120 of my own money to get some other nonsense that I don't need. I was thinking the other option, I was thinking maybe I'll get the power bank and flip it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. I thought that also could be
now, yeah, you could do that.
that also could be an option. But I suspect there will be a lot of these on Facebook Marketplace and eBay because everybody in their 1.15 million people are going through this recall
Yeah,
process.
but most of these
Yeah,
people.
but how many are them in Wilmington?
No, and how many?
Well, I don't know. Do people buy power banks? They're so cheap. I wonder if that's something that people even buy on Marketplace. I have to look, see if there's anything even on here.
It's. I mean, and how many of them still have it, and how many of them?
That's a
have
good
all the-
point.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Before Gall has to leave, I did something cool this weekend or this week. Bamboo Labs, the company that makes my 3D printers, they came out with AI 3D modeler, and they've had some stuff in the past where like you send them an image and it turns the image into 3D. Well, I don't know if they updated it recently, but I saw a TikTok about it and I was like, I gotta try it. And it used AI to make a 3D model, and then I printed the 3D model, and it's amazing. It's
So this was
Cool.
just a picture.
this was just a picture, and then and it's a dragon skull, and I sent the picture to their Bamboo AI 3D thing, and it modeled it in less than 2 minutes, which is amazing because I've used other AI modeling services, and it took forever, and it looked awful. And like what they do is they'll take your picture and they'll use it as a texture and like put it on top of lumpy models. So so it looks good until you remove the picture, and then you're like, it was just a lumpy model. Like you can't 3D print this. But this is a full blown like 3D shape. It has good form. Like you could tell what it is. It doesn't rely on the textures, and it did it in like 30 seconds. So that
And
was pretty crazy.
so you have access to it just by having a bamboo printer?
No, anybody can do it. They charge credits, so it'll
Oh.
make the 3D model, and you can see it. But to download it, you have to have credits. And I guess because I have bamboo printers, I had 150 credits, so I was able to download it. And I don't know if everybody gets 150, if like that's like the free. And it said when I downloaded it that it usually costs 10 credits per download or per model or whatever. But it only took away 2 because I guess it's on sale. So
So it's a service that they're going to offer online. Interesting.
yeah, but you don't have to pay for them to make the model. You just have to pay to download it, which is
Yeah.
nice because some of the other services, it's like they counted credit towards building the model, not just downloading it.
Okay, so I'll pay for 2 credits for you to try something.
Okay.
if you take a profile picture of yourself,
Of me. Okay. And do it.
and try and make it a 3D, if it will, and if when you turn it,
Well,
if it,
so
that's interesting.
So the thing is, so the process that I watched the YouTube video is to go to ChatGPT and have it build an image that looks 3D, if that makes sense. So so it already has like shadows and stuff on it, and you can clearly tell that this has form. Um, and then upload that image to Maker World, and it made it like
Okay.
1-to-1 to the image. And yes, I have form, but I'm not a 3D model, so it might not read my shapes right. So but if I went to ChatGPT and like gave it my picture and be like, turn me into a 3D model, then it will do that. And, well, it's still like a 2D image, but it looks like it's a render, like a 3D render.
So it
Interesting.
still
So,
involves a middleman there, which is ChatGPT. It's not.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. No,
so
it's fine.
I don't know. That was just the TikToker I saw that did it that way, and so I just copied his process, and it worked perfectly. And I don't know, maybe you could upload an image, and it work, but maybe not. I don't know.
Interesting.
very interesting.
Now, there's an interesting also thing about ChatGPT.
Is it being recalled?
Huh?
I said, is it being recalled? Consumer protection?
No,
recall?
but it was.
I get my $20 back.
Where is it? There's one that says that by using a software emulator to run Atari's 1979 game Video Chess, Citrix engineer Robert Caruso said he was able to set up a match between ChatGPT and the 46-year-old game. The matchup did not go well for ChatGPT. ChatGPT confused rooks for bishops, missed pawn forks, and repeatedly lost track of where pieces were. First blaming
because it's not a generic.
What?
Go ahead.
Says first, blaming the Atari icon is too abstract, then faring no better even after switching to standard chess notations. It made enough blunders to get laughed out of third grade chess club. ChatGPT got absolutely wrecked at the beginner's level.
I see nothing
So,
wrong because
you know,
this is how I play. I'm as good as ChatGPT when it comes to chess.
it's
yeah. So this is actually a good recall to what we keep on saying, or at least I keep on saying. It's the AI doesn't exist, right? And I came across no, it doesn't exist yet. It's and that's the reality. But I came across a video which was produced probably, I don't know, a year or two back, when ChatGPT started with version 3, and everybody got hooked. And the title was AI does not exist, and the person, she keeps on going on and explaining what she means. There was one phrase there that I like. I've adopted, and it is AI cannot take away your job, right? Because it cannot do it instead of you, but it can. What will happen, right, is a salesman will definitely persuade your boss that it can take your job, right? And that is the situation where we're at now. People do not understand what are the limitation of these, why this cannot run on its own. It always needs a human to supervise it. It always needs, at this point, I'm just talking of where we're at today, right? And in that term, AI does not exist yet, right? A generic AI that knows how to do everything and can make decisions instead of human, that does not exist yet.
Right.
And that is a great exercise to show exactly what that means. And do understand the reaction to this exercise is going to be, okay, we're going to make AI do better at chess. But that's just because there was this test that it failed. And now somebody's going to focus on, okay, let's make this test pass. Okay. It's not about improving AI in a general way to get it to do well everywhere. But if we want it to do well in chess, we need to teach it specific chess, like that engine in the old machine that runs through it. Right, that engine knows chess, has its logic. It's built its logic just around that, and it's specific to that task. And that's what we're going to. We're going to, again, a bunch of apps that are going to be specific at what they do. They'll do that well. They'll be great in the hands of professionals, right? But they can't replace the professional.
Mhm. All right, guy, you're watching your clock.
Yeah, I need to boot. So
Right before you leave, I mean, Friday, multiple popular services include Google, Google Cloud, AWS,
oh yeah.
Spotify, Discord, Cloudflare, Google Nest, Azure, Box, and Shopify had downtime.
Friday, not Thursday?
That was, they say, it started around 2:25 p.m. ET Eastern Friday. Did you?
Well,
Did
I
you?
I literally experienced the downtime of Google on Thursday
Interesting.
afternoon. So
Nick, how
I
about
don't
you?
know about.
I didn't have really any issues on Friday. I didn't actually didn't spend a whole lot of time on the
Okay.
computer after the morning on Friday, so
I
I did
guess,
not
Katie,
deal with
you
it.
wouldn't.
But I saw the down detector screenshots all over the internet. It was literally everything.
No.
Friday was actually calm. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it was calm, because nobody could be online.
You could be online, you just
I
couldn't use
wouldn't know.
anything.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
guys.
Bye,
Gal,
Gal. Have a good week.
enjoy. And happy Father's Day. And be safe.
Bye.
Amazon has quietly doubled the ad load on Prime Video to 4 to 6 minutes per hour,
That's a lot.
up from 2 to 3.5 minutes initially discussed when ads launch in 2024. That is a lot. Absolutely.
So again, why is why are we looking at things like piracy coming
Yep.
back?
Yep.
And the answer is that even for paid services like Prime, which is not free, right? You
Right.
cannot that you have to pay for which
Yeah.
is up to what, $120 a year, if not more,
It's more.
for Prime, $140 a year, whatever it is. It's still a good value. Don't get me wrong. If
Yeah.
you order enough stuff from Amazon, but you pay for all of these services, and you're still sitting with hours,
Have to. Yep.
hours worth of ads
Yep.
throughout the week if you're watching a show, and that's
So it's
very
but
frustrating
it's
for a
the
lot of people.
same story with Spectrum or whoever. I mean, you're paying good money for
Well,
the
that's
TV.
different. That's different though. That's not Spectrum is not the ones that are injecting ads.
Oh,
These
yes,
are the
they do.
network.
Oh, yes, they do.
They do, but those ad breaks are being taken by those networks, and Spectrum is selling in them. But it's not like
Okay,
if
yeah.
Spectrum wasn't selling the ads, you get back to the content quicker. You'd just be watching more commercials from TNT or TBS or whatever channel you're watching. They're not the ones. They are not injecting their own ads into the stream where ad breaks do not exist.
Okay.
But yes, your point is still well noted. You spend $150 a month on a cable subscription, and
Yeah.
all you watch is commercials.
Nick, I don't know if you came across this story this week, but U.S. Navy Secretary John Phelan has told the Senate the service needs the right to repair its own gear and will rethink how to write contracts to keep control of intellectual property and ensure sailors can fix hardware, especially in a fight.
I'm
Speaking,
sure.
speaking to the Senate Armed Services Committee on Tuesday, he cited the case of the USS Gerald R. Ford, America's largest and most expensive nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, $13 billion. The ship was struggling to feed its crew of over 4,500 because 6 of its 8 ovens were out of action, and sailors were barred by contract from fixing them themselves.
That's a huge problem.
I mean,
Wait, what was wrong with the ovens?
there were, who knows? It was locked out. Didn't work. But you're not supposed to touch them to fix them.
You're not
You're not allowed.
contractually you're not allowed to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a problem. And the federal government should be looking at that stuff.
Absolutely.
This is why McDonald's ice cream machines are down all the time, because the employees can't fix them, and their proprietary ice cream machines that they have a contract with, like this one company, and you can't even look up the stuff to fix it. So like they get regular handymen to come in to try to fix their ice cream machines, and they're like, "We don't know what this is."
Well, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong inherently with proprietary stuff. There is an issue, however, when you are legally not able to touch something that's proprietary. I mean, everything's got some level of proprietariness. I don't know what the plural, how you would
yeah.
yeah, I don't know what the plural word of that is, but I mean, there's always going to be some levels of proprietary. That's not a problem. There is, but in this case, it's just, I'm sure, it can be something as stupid as the pilot light. The pilot igniter isn't working. That's a relatively easy thing to fix. You can swap out a pilot light. That's not a hard thing.
But you're not.
Yeah, I mean, right to repair is it's been a big discussion for the last 10 years or so, 10, 15 years. And I'm glad to see that if the government leads the charge on this, that could have some pretty sweeping impacts throughout the rest of the industry.
Yep.
I mean, Apple's the worst victim of it. You can't buy Apple parts. You have to go to an Apple authorized retailer. There are very few of them throughout the country. Like, for example, here in Wilmington, we don't have an Apple store. If I have a serious issue with my iPhone, I have to drive to Raleigh or Charlotte. I can buy a new phone, right? I can go to AT&T and buy a phone. I can go to Costco or Sam's Club and buy a new phone, but not inherently an easy task for repairing.
And United Natural Foods, a major distributor of groceries to Whole Foods and other retailers, said on Monday that it was hit by a cyber attack, warning of disruptions to its ability to fulfill and distribute customer orders. And Hannah went to pick up some things for Kathy, and she said a lot of the shelves were empty. And that is a problem. They were talking about how they are scrambling to do it manually and all that, and they just couldn't keep up with what was needed to be done. That's I didn't hear anything that they fixed it. But back to AI. This is positive in a way. Ohio State University is launching a campus-wide AI fluency initiative requiring all students to integrate AI into their studies, aiming to make them proficient in both their major and the responsible use of AI. So from don't use it, now everybody has to do it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Well, I'm on LinkedIn, and some of the jobs now, they say if you have proficiency in AI, and it's not just like ChatGPT, a lot of the software and the programs now have an AI component to it, like Figma AI, and they want their incoming staff to be familiar with it.
Yep. So they said that Ohio State has the opportunity and responsibility to prepare students to not just keep up, but lead in this workforce of the future. Artificial intelligence is transforming the way we live, work, teach, and learn. In the not so distant future, every job in every industry is going to be affected in some way by AI. And there was another interesting story in China. They have finals now, universities. They turned off the 3 AI thing. I mean, Tencent and ByteDance
Mhm.
turned it off so students could not use it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, the point that Katie's making is spot on. I mean, and to the point that Ohio State is making, same thing. I mean, if you can bury your head in the sand and pretend that
Yep.
AI is not going to be a major influence, or you can adapt and start using it.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
individuals that choose to, you know, and the phrase of being fluent in AI is kind of a
Yeah, that's
misnomer. I mean, I don't, but being able to articulate, you know, and Katie, you've learned this. I've learned at Gall, and I don't know how Amnon, how often you're using
Nah.
ChatGPT, if you're using it at
I
all.
don't.
You do learn after a short period of time the way to interact to actually
Yeah.
get what you're trying, the answers that you're trying to get. You kind of cut down some of the things to get immediately to the point,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I would assume companies are probably looking for if they've decided to adopt AI in their workplace. But as Katie noted, I mean, most businesses are using some sort of SaaS software, not the actual SaaS company in Cary, but software as a service. And almost, I would assume, a vast majority of them have implemented some level of AI, even if it's not that extreme or that useful. It's something in that software is AI this, AI that.
Yeah. And two, like universities, they advertise the percentage of their students that get jobs right out of college. So if a lot of their graduates aren't getting jobs, and they're gonna have to shift. And I know my university, it was like I don't know what the number was, but it was like 98% of the students that graduate get hired. This is a high percentage. That's why you should come here. So
Huh? Okay. Anything else anybody wants to add?
Nope.
Nick?
Nada.
All right. Well, thanks, Nick. And thank you, Katie.
mm-hmm.
And again, happy Father's Day, everybody out there. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thank you for tuning to Computers Talking Out. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. And change any same password wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computerstucanow.com. Again, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in Charlotte, 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and on YouTube. So on YouTube, just search for the Carolina Journal News Hour, and he'll tell you where it's at. Nick also does his daily show, The Nick Craig Show, 7 to 8 a.m. weekdays, and political stuff. And just go to nickcraig.com to get the details. And Nick and Brian host the Infection podcast on Twitch. That's for survival games, gaming news, and some political stuff. Go to infectionpodcast.com to get the details. Again, have a happy Father's Day, and we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.